Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is another episode of A Day Late and an Algo Short. And in case you missed it, this is yesterday's Algorand News. My name is Monty Allen and I am your crypto nerd. Make sure to hashtag Algo News if you are on Twitter. If you want to get propped out in one of these videos, or if you just find some interesting news and you want me to be aware of it and possibly put it in the video. Hashtag Algo News. I'm at Real Monty Allen on the Twitter. So let's jump into it today. So first up, everybody is talking about it. Oh no! The Algorand Wallet went down. The world is crumbling. No. Don't blow it out of proportion, all right? So Real Crypto actually posted this, that for anyone that may be experiencing an issue with their Algorand Wallet at the moment, fear not. Fear not, your algo is safe. He reposted, so I'm reposting a repost of somebody from Telegram, actually, is what I'm doing here. But it just so happened that this was the first post that I saw in regards to this. And yes, your algo is safe. In fact, it's already up and running again. So Kelly chimed in. Everybody knows Kelly, right? She's VP of Marketing. She chimed in and said AWS is experiencing widespread outages, and it impacted a lot of websites and applications, and hey, everything is fine. Assets are all fine, she says. The yellow there is my highlighting that the assets are fine. And so Kelly chimed in, and of course, assets were fine. So now Paul chimes in at 9:13 p.m., and I'm in Central Time. 9:13 p.m. said, hey, all set now. AWS has resolved all issues. The wallets are back up and running. But there were a few hours there where, folks were trembling. In fact, I saw some conspiracy stuff out there like, hey, I switched wallets. Now all of a sudden my Algo wallet is down. I wanted to use Yieldly, so I wanted to switch wallets. And maybe is it a coincidence? I don't know what's happening. So it's not a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. I promise you. When we look at these things, AWS did indeed have some issues. And some of you are wondering, like, hey, how come we're using Amazon for websites? That can't be good. Well, that's nothing new. AWS is huge. They've got some huge servers. In fact, some of the biggest servers in the world. In fact, so big outside of, I think it's Maryland, that the AWS servers could be considered a high-profile target for, hackers or for some type of, espionage or some kind of terrorist act. Because, heck, if you took down the internet now these days, like, that might be a big issue. Hence, one little small wallet app for Algorand goes out, and people are up in arms. Well, not to worry. But Paul chimed in here, and we don't hear from Paul very often. Kelly is ever present, and we appreciate you, Kelly. But Paul doesn't chime in very often. So Paul chimes in. He's our Chief Product Officer, and when he does chime in, it's usually a pretty important and it's impactful. He's posted some lengthy, tweet, series. I think one was 1 out of like 12. So he had, a 12 tweet series. He had to keep going to get all of his messages across. And he writes some articles here and there. And he has some valuable information to share. He doesn't share as often, but when he does, pay attention to it. So I successfully, subscribe to him and hit the bell so that when he posts something, I am notified. I suggest you do the same thing. Paul also, incidentally, is a big fan of NFTs. So look at this. So right there in the middle of the page. So Paul Regal says NFTs are so hot. And look, he wrote a whole article on it, on the enduring value of NFTs on Algorand. And you may be wondering yourself, well, why is this news? So take a look at the left-hand side over here. We got a cool little, race car, supercar series GIF kind of moving around there. And we've got die-cast NFTs powered by Algorand. And why is this news? Well, the guy is having a contest. He's giving away NFTs. And he's giving away, fairly often. Looks like every day, every other day for, the recent history here. And I think that should make news. I think that someone who's giving back to the community, putting out a cool product. In fact, check out the Star Wars version over there on the bottom right-hand side. I'm going to message him right now and just be like, hey, you got any more of those Star Wars NFTs? I see it was Series 2. That was 5 out of 5. Like, maybe he's got multiple series. Go check him out. He's at Diecast NFTs on Twitter, and he posts really cool gifts of his NFTs, and he's got a whole series. I particularly like the Star Wars ones. He's got an ALGO Lambo, which is pretty cool too. You got to go check that out. You can bid on these things. You can go check out the website. I will link his, I think it's like a Reddit, post there that he's got, and give him some love. Because it's not easy to be an entrepreneur and put yourself out there and try and help the ecosystem in, even if it's just a small way, because we need thousands and thousands of die-cast NFTs to be successful for our community to rise up and go where we want it to. So let's support the small, independent entrepreneur who's out there just putting together some really cool products. So is that news? Yeah, I think it could be. I think it should be. So go check out the die-cast NFTs, is what I'm trying to say. All right? And by the way, Paul, if you ever watch this, you should go check him out because apparently you're a fan of NFTs too. And Paul, look at Paul. Paul's probably a fan of Star Wars too, don't you think? All right. Next up, we've got DG. If you don't follow DG_TW, you definitely should. So DG here is the leader of Borderless Capital. Yeah, Borderless Capital, the same Borderless Capital that was in that deal in Miami, relocating to Miami, and put together $25 million, accelerator fund, I guess. But that's not all that Borderless Capital has invested in Algorand. Borderless Capital has been involved since 2018. And when you check out Borderless Capital, there's a bunch of names that come up. Yieldly comes up. Republic comes up. Planet Watch comes up. Climate Trade comes up. All of these names that we are familiar with, Borderless Capital is involved with in some way, shape, or form, plus many, many more. So go check them out. Now, I brought this up here also because he's talking about the governance vote. Now, he posted this on June 14th. The beta release was supposed to come out on the 15th, which is technically, by the time you watch this, 2 days old. I know it's supposed to be yesterday's news, but guess what? It got delayed. So the beta net upgrade got delayed. Now, I'm not going to read too much into that, but maybe we should. I don't know. Couple of things there. So the governance vote. There's been some folks who are, worried about the governance vote. What's that mean? Do I have to have a node? Do I have to be some kind of a weird techie in order to vote on my Algorand? I thought that if I just owned it, I would be good. Well, all right. You can't kick out the old governing system, technically, I guess, without them voting to vote themselves out. Essentially, it seems like that's what they got to do. So this consensus mechanism that they got to update their nodes, they've got to do that just one time. And everybody's got to do it in order to convert over to the new governance system. So it's kind of one of those things I feel like, when I tell my kids to go clean their room, sometimes I ask them. And I say, hey kids, can you go clean your room? Now, all the fathers out there, all the parents out there, you know darn well when you ask your kids to go clean your room, you're not really asking them to go do it. You're not going to say if you feel like it, could you go clean your room? No, you're telling them you better get your rear end in there and clean your room. You just happen to be asking, but if they don't do it, there's going to be some consequences. I feel like it's the same thing here. Right? What would happen if some node, just decided, nah, I'm not going to go ahead and do that? Well, I'm pretty sure he's going to go clean his room at the end of the day. So have no fear. I have no fear that all of these nodes are going to have consensus and everything will get updated. And then everybody who holds and takes part of the governance, stakes their coins with the governance system, in Q4, it will be fine. It's going to work out. Don't get so, you're not going to get scammed by Algorand. I know, in this industry, we have been scammed, and you got to look out for it. There's people who post bogus stuff on YouTube, and you got to figure out, what's real, what's not real. Well, Algorand, if it comes from the Algorand Foundation, if it comes from the Algorand, Twitter official, by the way, that should get, official blue check marks, shouldn't it, ladies and gentlemen? So, those things should come through as authentic. So Algorand is the real deal. So you're not going to get scammed. You're not going to get screwed out of your governance vote. So just follow the rules, and they're not going to make it arbitrarily difficult to do. You do have to, put in your effort. You actually have to show up and vote, and you have to have some of your algos staked, which is good, right? And if you do all that, maybe you could be like DG there and get some fancy socks. Are those $25 million socks or what? So DG goes down to Miami and they exchange socks? I don't know how this happened. I didn't catch the whole story there, but like those are $25 million socks. So the mayor of Miami gets some Algorand socks. DG gets some Miami socks. Look at that. They got like Miami blue, and it looks cool. So there you go. That's all the news that we had, more or less, yesterday. On a side note, did anybody notice that the Algorand Wallet went open source on the same day it kind of went down? All right, I'm just kidding. There's no conspiracy there. Forget I said it. All right, so there you have it. That's a day late and ALGO short, yesterday's Algorand news. I am Monty Allen, and I am your crypto nerd. Go to Twitter, find me, hit hashtag ALGO News. I will find you. I might post you in a video, and who knows what happens then. Could get crazy. All right, be safe out there.